Welcome to Reddit Tea Time. Am I the bonehead for not wanting my ex's girlfriend to be naked in front of my 15-year-old daughter? My ex has been with his girlfriend for about 10 years now, so my kids have been around her since they were young, but I'm not happy with the fact that she walks around naked. Originally, my daughter told me she would just walk from the shower to her bedroom naked. But my daughter has just got home from their house, and now it's quite often just walking around the house and garden naked. My son has since told me she would quite often walk around topless when he was about 17. I don't think this is appropriate or necessary. The latest episode had her sunbathing naked on top of the vehicle when they took my daughter and two of her friends to the beach. Apparently, she tried to cover herself with a towel as she was getting off the vehicle, but both the friends were horrified to see everything at that point. I don't think there should ever be a situation that this could happen. My daughter feels very uncomfortable with all this and was so embarrassed. I have discussed this with my ex, but they talk about being comfortable with your body and positive body image, etc. But I think it's completely inappropriate and want it to stop. Am I being unreasonable? Now for some top comments. Not the bonehead. She is way out of line, especially if these places aren't nudist places. She is an exhibitionist. If others are uncomfortable, then she needs to cut it out. What she does when no one else is around is up to her, but when there are others around, she needs to read the room. Not the bonehead. Something that is considered a form of sexual abuse is exposing yourself to someone when they don't consent to it. This is unacceptable behavior, especially at the age that they are. It's not appropriate at all. To the people defending the woman walking around naked in front of kids, would you feel the same if it was the mom's new husband that was walking around naked in front of her 15-year-old daughter? Am I the bonehead for offering my grieving sister my firstborn? When my wife, female 40, and I, male 40, found out we had an unplanned pregnancy, we immediately started discussing all possible options. My sister, female 44, had been trying for years to get pregnant, up to and including getting expensive overseas treatment. We had been privately discussing offering my sister help by offering either surrogacy or kinship adoption, but hadn't resolved to approach my sister yet when she finally got pregnant. Tragically, my nephew was born very premature and only survived a few days. Fast forward over 2 years and we find out my wife is pregnant. We begin to discuss options and our previous discussions about helping my sister, after affirming with each other several times that we are okay with it and want to try and do this for her. We decide to call my sister and offer her a kinship adoption. We explained about our previous discussions years earlier, and that, in light of the current situation, wanted to give her the option to have the child for her own. We wouldn't consider any other options until we knew how she felt. After a week, they got back to us, saying thanks, but no thanks. My sister told me she appreciated the offer, but she was confident with the treatment she was getting, that she'd manage it on her own soon. A few days after this, and lots of discussion later, we decided to keep the baby ourselves. Within a month of declining our offer, my sister started dropping comments every time she talks to my wife during the pregnancy about how things could go wrong, about how things probably will go wrong. She complains that our social media posts about the pregnancy journey are triggering her, then unfollowed us. When our day finally comes, I'm texting pictures and vitals to everyone. I'm getting excited replies from friends and family, and I get a one-word congratulations from sis before she goes radio silent for 5 days. When she finally does respond to my messages, she goes on a rant about how selfish I am, how unfair it is for me to rub it in her face that I have a healthy baby while her son is dead. She says I need to consider her and her feelings before I share anything, and tells me to imagine my son dying right now and see how I'd feel. She accuses me and my wife of running to her in a panic to fix our mistake as soon as we found out we were pregnant, then revoking our offer. I'd had enough at this point. The way I see it, I'd offered my sister the most selfless thing I can think of, actually giving up my only biological child so she could be a mother. She acts like I slapped her in the face and joked about her dead son. I tell my sister I've had enough of her BS. Since she can't even welcome my son into the world with decency, she won't even get to be his aunt. I cut all communication with my sister. The only feelings I have about it anymore are relief that I didn't end up sending my son to be raised by her, and worry for any potential child she may have. So Reddit, am I the bonehead? Now for some top comments. Not the bonehead. You offer your eldest and only child. She is angry that you are now celebrating the birth of your child because her child is dead. Wow. Not the bonehead. She just needs some therapy. She's clearly hurting, jealous, angry, grieving, etc. She needs to work through her emotions instead of trying to take them out on you. Not the bonehead. Your sister is obviously in a bad place and needs help. However, as your son gets older, I hope he does not find out about your initial suggestion to your sister. Hopefully your sister never has the opportunity to tell him. What you and your wife consider a selfless offer might appear to him as a chance to get rid of an unwanted child. Am I the bonehead for only inviting my skinny friends to do a horseback riding event? I need more opinions on this. I've always wanted to go horseback riding, and I found a ranch that offers a package where you go every Saturday for 5 weeks to learn. It will start you at the very basics, and the last Saturday you go on a day trip. I wanted to do this since I heard good things about it, and it seems really fun. I was looking at the program, and the website made it very clear that you have to be less than 225 pounds in order to join. It had a very long paragraph about the horse's safety, and that a horse can only carry so much that isn't equipment. I have a friend group of 7 people. 3 of those people are overweight. They are very open about their weight, and I know they are all over 225. I knew the program wouldn't allow it, so I asked my other 5 friends if they were interested. 4 of them decided to join. I was asked today by one of the friends why she wasn't invited. I told her she didn't qualify for the program. She asked what I meant, and I told her the program wouldn't allow her on one of their horses. She kept pushing, so I told her the horse apparently can't handle her weight. She got very upset and called me a bonehead. The 2 other friends are on me and are pissed. I basically called them fat. I sent them the program and the info, but that didn't help. Now for some top comments. Not the bonehead. This is a common piece of bad news in the equestrian community, and always an awkward conversation to have. But the fact of the matter is this rule exists for the horse's safety, and that will always be priority over someone being upset. Horses run, jump, climb, follow commands, and adjust their balance with 100+ pounds of gear and human on their spine, even when a small person is riding. We don't always make this easy for them, especially when first learning to ride. Not the bonehead. Following guidelines and not endangering horses is more important than trying to kowtow to your friend's ego. Horses are sensitive, sentient beings. It's not acceptable to demand extra of them because humans think they can treat them like machines. Not everyone can do everything. You said only the truth. Your friend needs to accept reality. Okay, I'm not body shaming at all. I'm rolling closer to 200 pounds my damn self. But a horse is a living creature that gives 2 fecks about your weight. They do care that their back's killing them from too much weight. Do not project societal observances onto a creature that doesn't play a part. Am I the bonehead for refusing to speak to mother-in-law and canceling our wedding? I, female 35 and fiancé, male 30 are considering canceling our wedding and eloping instead because of mother-in-law. Mother-in-law has never tried to have a positive relationship with me. She makes sure I'm not included in conversations, belittles my achievements, and talks down to me. Things escalated when I was planning fiancé's 30th. Mother-in-law fought me on every detail and accused me of not knowing my fiancé at all. I planned a golf weekend away for him and his family. He loves golf. Fiancé confronted mother-in-law and asked why she doesn't like me. Mother-in-law admitted she doesn't like me. Doesn't like my partner driving to events. Didn't like it took me a month to find employment when I moved to a different town to be with fiancé. Fiancé receives calls and texts from mother-in-law daily. If he doesn't respond, she blames me. Fiancé told her if she doesn't stop this behavior toward me, he will no longer speak with her. I agreed to meet with mother-in-law to smooth things over and try to move forward. Mother-in-law never took me up on it, but things seemed okay for a time. Fast forward to fiancé's brother's wedding. Wedding day arrives, and we were to be at the venue at 4 p.m. 5 minutes to 2 p.m. Fiancé receives call from mother-in-law saying the family photo shoot is in 5 minutes. We hadn't been told of a family photo shoot. Mother-in-law demands we arrive at 2 p.m. for it. We frantically get ready and arrive at the house where the wedding was. There was never a photo shoot planned. Mother-in-law comes out and tries to hand me boys' suit shirts to iron. I refused. Mother-in-law snaps at me asking where my son is. He was never coming. He's at the hotel. Mother-in-law continues stating everyone thought he would be there. I respond, he was never coming and our RSVP was just us. She has been told multiple times he wasn't coming. The ceremony is over and I started to have guests come up to me asking where my son is. I don't even know these people's names. I tell them he's at the hotel. Looks of disgust are thrown at me. My new friends stopped talking to me. I realized these people were being told my son was at the hotel, but not telling them how old he is. Teenager. The wedding was a place of ridicule and disgust on me. Christmas Day at mother-in-law's house. Her family scurry away from me on arrival, refusing to hug or greet me. One man, whom I had met once 2 years ago, aggressively accused me of leaving my son alone on Christmas Day. Son was at father's place this year. The rumor has continued, and now not only does the mother-in-law hate me, so do her family. I made up an excuse to announce the fact my son was a teenager whom just finished his first year of high school at the top of his class. Everyone's jaw dropped. None of them knew he is a teen. Mother-in-law hurried out of the room. Now fiancé wants to cancel the wedding and elope because of mother-in-law. Fiancé is demanding I speak with mother-in-law one last time in order for him to cut her off. Am I the bonehead for not wanting to confront mother-in-law and for canceling the wedding? Now for some top comments. I would reword this. You're still getting married and possibly skipping the wedding and reception. Not the bonehead, but is this what you want? Since your fiancé backs you, why can't you have a wedding if that's what you two want? And just not invite his mom and other people. You two still deserve to be celebrated, and I sure AF wouldn't give up a day I wanted because of her. She hates you. Your partner needs to get a handle on this. Either he lays down the law and cuts them out, or I suggest breaking up. My partner and I went to counseling over this, and you're either a team or you're not. Even if he maintained a relationship and they kept crapping on you, he's letting you down. The only way he could have his family in his life and you is if he actually created firm boundaries with his family. For example, sitting his mom down and saying, "Hey, I know you don't like your name. Let's say it's Beth. Beth isn't going anywhere. I love Beth. You don't have to love Beth, but you absolutely do have to respect me and my choice. I am telling you what I will not tolerate about how you treat the person I love." This way she knows the boundary. It's not controlling her, it's telling her that her actions and choices will result in consequences. Not the bonehead. Elope. It will be so fun. Use the funds to go somewhere magical. Get the dress of your dreams, if that's important to you. Take the best photos, eat the best food, have the time of your life. If they already hate you, you've got nothing to lose. Do it. Not the bonehead. But don't cancel the wedding if a wedding is what you and your fiancé want. If you do have a wedding, only invite the people that support both of you. Don't invite anyone who doesn't support both of you. If that means no mother-in-law, she'll just have to live with the consequences of her actions. That's all for now. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next Reddit story. Take care.